In the 1950s, the United States government ran a secret program so disturbing that when it was finally exposed decades later, the officials responsible ordered every document connected to it destroyed. What survived was enough to change everything the American public thought they knew about their own government. This is MKUltra, and what was done in its name has never been fully accounted for. In the early years of the Cold War, the Central Intelligence Agency became consumed by one fear above all others: that the Soviet Union had developed methods of controlling the human mind. Prisoners of war were returning from Korea, displaying what appeared to be altered beliefs and behaviors. The CIA believed the Soviets were ahead of them, and they were determined to catch up at any cost. In 1953, CIA Director Allen Dulles officially authorized a covert research program under the codename MKUltra. Its stated purpose was to investigate whether the human mind could be manipulated, controlled, or altered through chemical, biological, and psychological means. What followed over the next 2 decades was one of the most disturbing chapters in the history of American government. The program operated across over 150 individual research projects conducted at universities, hospitals, research institutions, and government facilities across the United States and Canada. Many of the researchers involved had no idea they were working for the CIA, and many of the people subjected to the research had absolutely no idea what was being done to them. Subjects were administered substances without their knowledge or consent. They were placed in controlled environments and observed without their awareness. Psychological techniques were applied to test the limits of human endurance and suggestibility. The program operated in complete secrecy for years with almost no oversight and virtually no limits on what researchers were permitted to do. Some of what took place occurred in hospitals where patients sought treatment and received something else entirely. Some occurred in universities where researchers believed they were conducting legitimate scientific work funded by anonymous grants with no knowledge of where the money was coming from or what the ultimate purpose of the research was. The program touched institutions that Americans trusted completely, and the people who passed through those institutions during those years had no way of knowing that some of them were being used as unwitting subjects in a classified government research program. For years, none of it was known outside the small circle of CIA officials who authorized and oversaw it. The program operated in the shadows of the Cold War, protected by layers of classification and institutional secrecy so deep that even many senior government officials had no knowledge of its existence. In 1973, as the Watergate scandal began to unravel the political landscape, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered the destruction of all MKUltra files. Thousands of documents were fed into shredders. Filing cabinets were emptied. Years of records disappeared. But not everything was destroyed. In 1977, a government archivist discovered a collection of MKUltra financial records that had been misfiled in a separate location and survived the destruction order. Those surviving documents contained enough information to confirm that the program had existed and to outline its extraordinary scope. A government investigation followed. Surviving documents were examined, officials were questioned, and for the first time the American public learned what had been done in secret in their name during the Cold War years. Former subjects came forward. Families of those who had been harmed sought accountability. Legal proceedings followed that would continue for years. What the surviving documents revealed was disturbing enough. But the destruction of the majority of the MKUltra files means that what was revealed represents only a fraction of what actually took place. The full scope of the program, the complete list of subjects, the detailed records of what was done and what was learned have never been recovered. Some researchers who have studied the surviving documents believe the most sensitive records were not simply destroyed, but moved to locations that remain classified to this day. Others believe that what has been disclosed is only the beginning of what was authorized, and that programs operating under different code names continued long after MKUltra was officially shut down in 1973. The surviving documents confirmed enough to change history, but the majority of what happened during those 2 decades remains buried, destroyed, hidden, or simply unknown. MKUltra was real. It was confirmed by the government itself, and the full truth of what was done has never been told. What do you think was in the documents they destroyed?